Okay, this tree, this tree that's been in the news. I'm laughing, but I shouldn't laugh. But it's, to me, it seems very, very staged. This whole event. Okay, this tree that was cut down. If you are unaware of this story, you can go and look it up. It's the Sycamore Gap story that is in the news right now. It's a pretty big story in England, I think. And I'm going to go through some of the symbolism here, how it applies to the idea of rebirth, and we'll go through some of the synchronicities as well with some of the numbers here and there and everywhere. Okay. So what have we got going on here? So first of all, what I want to say is we've got the tree. Now remember, the tree, and the placement of this tree is important, but the tree is a phallic symbol. Yeah, that trunk represents the trunk of man. It represents the upward, the pillar of man. It represents the phallus. Okay, that thing is protruding into, if we look up here, this blue sky right here. Okay, this blue sky is what we would call the metaphysical. Yeah, it's there's, when you look up to the sky and it's blue, there's air there. So but you can't see the air in front of you, but you end up with a blue hue at the, as you look up to the heavens. And what I'm trying to say is, but there's something there, because you ever put your hand, because you can feel the wind basically. I was going to say, you put your hand out the window driving down the road, you can feel that air pushing against your hand. Okay, if you stand in the wind, okay, you can feel it pushing against you, but you can't see it. Yeah, so there's a force there. There's something there. It's blue, obviously. We have the same idea with the sea as well, compared with the solidness of the land. Okay, so we have this blue up here, and we have the solid land below. Okay, and we have the same idea going on with water, which is very fluid. Again, a blue color. Okay, but clear when you actually look at a small amount of it. And again, it's a difference in states there, okay, between the land and water, and between land and air. Okay, but very similar ideas going on. So this is why blue represents the metaphysical, okay, because it's in nature, right? And the land, often, if you look at the actual color of soil, a rusty brown color usually. Again, soil is the solid world. Okay, so the solid world, the physical world, and up above is the metaphysical world. Okay, and so one part of man is protruding into the metaphysical, and the other part is down in the physical. Okay, so at the minute, this thing, well, before this thing was cut down, it was up there in the metaphysical. Okay, which is this is kind of like all over the place, backwards and forwards, with this idea of being in the metaphysical and then out of the metaphysical. But that is, again, the idea of a cycle. What's happened with this tree is somebody came and cut it down, right? And this is what has happened, is the thing's essentially been coppiced. Okay, the actual stump is not dead. The actual tree is not dead. It will sprout back up from that stump. But if you like, coppicing is actually, it's basically a method of producing a certain regrowth of a tree. And then usually what happens is, when that regrowth gets to a certain height, they cut it back down again, right down at the base. Okay, or close to the base, not completely flush with the ground, but a little stump there, and that thing will keep regrowing, right? So it's a method of farming trees, basically. But what is going on is there's a cycle there. There's a cycle with coppicing, okay, and it's a cycle of growth and then removal of that growth, and then the cycle starts over again. Okay, so you have this idea of a cycle being in play here. Okay, so I've got quite a lot of symbolism to get through, but you'll know that the roots of a tree kind of extend down. I've got a picture here, kind of extend down the same as the branches extend upwards. So the tree has this balance. So there's an important sort of reference to balance between the physical with the roots, okay, and the roots of our nature is based in the physical, yeah, and that's actually the salvation as well, and then this top part, which is into the metaphysical. This is the top part of the tree is in the metaphysical. It is the metaphysical twin, if you like. So the top part is the metaphysical twin of the tree, while the bottom part is the physical twin of the tree. Okay, both forming a whole. And what has been sacrificed in this ritual is the top part of that tree, the part that is in the metaphysical. Yeah, it's taking the sunlight, again a reference to the physical. It's using air and sunlight, right, and water, basically those three elements. So it's using a form of the metaphysical and the physical to form leaves, to form that green foliage. Okay, that green foliage can be likened to our ideas sprouting and being manifested, okay, into reality. Okay, so that is like the idea of the Matrix. You know, the Matrix has that green hue in the film. Yeah, the Wizard of Oz, again with the Emerald City. Okay, so these leaves that are being formed on the tree are a kind of metaphor for the matrix that we form. Okay, from our minds, basically, from in the metaphysical realm. Yeah, and you'll notice that tree, you know, again, this womb shape, the V for the valley here, and this is the womb up here, and that part of the tree is in the womb. It's in the metaphysical, creating the matrix here, the leaves. Okay, and what has happened is that thing's been cut off. Okay, so it is now. You could look at it about 5 different ways, right? Because as soon as that thing gets cut off from its roots, the top part withers and dies. Okay, so when that tree is not balanced anymore with its roots in the physical world, okay, the top part is going to die. The bottom part, though, stays alive and then will regrow. So we'll regrow back into the matrix. Okay, following this? So this is the death of the matrix and the restart of the matrix. Once that thing gets severed, which I would say was 9/11, once that thing gets severed here, it's stuck in the matrix. It can't go back to its roots. It's not using its roots anymore. And you'll notice that in the recent pictures of this, the leaves are already I think they've already withered on there. It only takes a few days for the leaves to really start drying up and curling up and falling off. And that's another thing that we have with deciduous trees. They go through a cycle every year as well, naturally. And the natural cycle is following the cycle of the world, yeah, which is the environmental temperature and the environmental sunlight that's coming to the tree changes. And so certain trees, deciduous trees, drop their leaves in winter, yeah, when the sun is no longer with them. Okay, so you have this cycle going on naturally anyway, showing us, that matrix has to be shed continually. Okay, so if you follow the rules of nature, what it's saying to you is, hey, you don't really want to do this coppicing thing. You'd be better off to do the deciduous tree thing, where you shed that ego and you shed the temptations of the matrix on a regular basis, yeah, rather than letting it get out of control and then having to be coppiced, having the whole thing ends up getting severed. Okay, so there's a lot of different ideas going on here, but different ideas but the same ideas. So let's go to some. This is just absolutely loaded with symbolism. I mean, it's just absolutely mental. Let's go to another picture here. Okay. Okay, we've got the tree down, and actually you can see in this picture it does look like the leaves have already started wilting. Again, this was supposedly a 16-year-old kid that cut this. I can't even. I'm going to say I can't even. I could cut a tree off fairly level when I'm out with the chainsaw, but for a 16-year-old kid to cut this off as nice and level as that is, and for a 16-year-old kid to be wielding a chainsaw anyway, I wouldn't let my 15-year-old near a chainsaw. And I'm not saying that somebody let him near the chainsaw, but to cut off like this, you've got to have some kind of experience. I'm telling you. Yeah, if I let it would be a 1 in a million chance that my boy could cut this thing off level and still be alive at the end of it as well. You know. So what I'm saying is, this is highly improbable that a 16-year-old kid did this. Okay, so the alarm bells are already ringing. And we'll go into the date and everything and a few other things here in a second. But to keep in with the symbolism here, without getting too strayed out of point here, I've got some more stuff up here. Hang on, let's go to this one. You'll notice that this is Hadrian's Wall here, and this is basically Scotland on one side and England on the other side. You know, the Romans built this wall to keep the Scots out, or you know, the ruffians out of England when the Romans were there. Okay, what has happened? To the best of my knowledge, it looks like the tree was on the English side. So again, with the idea of the English flag, I'm going to show you this in a second, but the idea of the English flag, the St. George's cross, which is a reference to the physical realm, okay, and now this tree is severed off and it's stuck up in the metaphysical here. This part is stuck in the metaphysical. It's made the leap across the wall, for sure. This is like the dam right here, and this is in the metaphysical. Now, you could look at this a couple of different ways. You could look at this as man here, jumping the wall to get back to God, which is, of course, the metaphysical, which again, sorry, I don't know if I mentioned this, but the Scottish flag again is a reference to the metaphysical. It's this idea of going into Scotland. I don't know which way. I think I like the idea of this thing's been cut off and is stuck in the matrix again, and has lost its roots. Okay, which is the roots are back in the physical. But definitely with the wall and the idea of coming over the dam, I don't know. It's kind of interesting that this part had to be shed. You know, this part has had to be shed now. This, if you like, is like the fictional twin, yeah, the metaphysical twin being sacrificed. Okay, so again, it's like the idea of Christ sacrificing for us for all the sin, yeah, and the sin again is the matrix. Okay. What else have I got with this? So I wanted to show you this. Where's this picture? So you can get an idea of that. You know, this is the physical flag of England here, the St. George's Cross. Okay, and then here we've got the Great Scott. Okay, the Cross of St. Andrew here. Okay, so this is where that top part ended up, stuck in. And if you look at the actual thing itself, this is like the head, and this is like the body. I think old Rolf Harris had cartoon time, didn't he? And he had his head up here. He was kind of like a kangaroo, and then the koala was Island over here. You remember that one? Oh my goodness. So let me show you a couple of other things that I want to talk about with this. I actually want to talk about the film Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, okay, with Kevin Costner, okay, and the reason why is because, of course, they've called this the Robin Hood tree. And what's interesting about this location in the film. Okay, so we'll go back to the numbers here in just a second, but the location in the film, I've got the film up here somewhere. Okay, the location in the film, this is where, and it's not a very good picture of it, right here in this scene. Okay, let me talk you through the scene. At the start of the scene, Kevin Costner has just come home, and I don't have the homecoming part of it, but right at the start of the scene, he's just come home and they've come onto, like, it looks like the White Cliffs of Dover, and then they cut to this shot of the wall, Hadrian's Wall, and he's kind of stepping over Hadrian's Wall, and the tree's right there, and he's like, "I'm home." Okay, so this, so it gets very interesting, this idea of coming home. Except he's coming over from the Scotland. I think on the film he's coming over from the Scotland side back to the England side, yeah, which again is that reference of coming back into England, coming back into the physical. So we've got Kevin Costner doing that, and then this little kid. Moments later, I think in the film, I don't know, I might have these around the wrong way, but moments later, this kid is getting chased by the sheriff of Nottingham's. Can't remember his name, but his cousin. Okay, and the kid goes up the tree. Okay, and then they chase him up the tree, and he's getting chased by, I want to say, they look actually like Irish wolfhounds that they're chasing him with, but I think they called them, I think they might be deer hounds or something, I'm not quite sure, but it's interesting that the kid's name is Wolf in the film. And so he's up the tree, and the baddie says, "Hey, just cut the tree down," basically. Okay, so we have this reference to be up the tree, and they're going to cut it down. And let me play just a second of it. So you can see the axe coming there. Again, the axe is very symbolic of the idea of Odysseus coming home. So that's another great little side reference in there. And The Shining with the axe. And we've gone through tons of axe symbolism. Let's see if we can get a shot of the kid up the tree. Obviously not. They're getting a bit of a fight. Anyway, there's the kid up the tree. I know I don't have a good shot of this, but he actually has a crucifix on. So he has the cross on. And again, his name is Wolf, spelled W-U-L-F. I haven't put that in the Gematrinator, but it might be something interesting. But again, the idea of the wolf in sheep's clothing, right? That's another one of these stories that you can take a different way, okay? So the idea of the wolf in the sheep's clothing is the guy that is the predator, okay? That is in disguise and basically there to eat sheep as he fancies, okay? So that is the predator amongst the masses. There's another way of looking at that, and it's a bit like Neo in the Matrix, okay? When he goes into the Matrix, he looks like everybody else. He looks like a sheep, okay? But he's not really, because he's actually underneath. Neo is actually a wolf because he understands how the Matrix works, okay? So he's not really a sheep. He looks like one, but he's not. He knows how the system works. And so this reference with the wolf, which is a natural dog, yeah? So man within nature, God within nature, yeah, God, dog, flip that around. The natural dog, the natural God is a wolf, okay? And so that natural wolf, that wolf symbolism, to be a wolf in sheep's clothing, could be a reference to the people that walk among us that know how to control the Matrix rather than the Matrix controlling them. They understand, like you and I, we understand some of the symbolism surrounding that thing and how it's controlling us. Ergo, we're able to, I don't know, maybe better cope with the nonsense that it throws at us. Okay, so anyway, this is the dude. Okay, this is the kid. So let's go to him in real life. Obviously, Kevin Costner saves the kid at this point. Kills a few bad guys, runs the baddie guy off, and life is all good again for a second. The other thing to note, the guy that's in the scene with them as well is Morgan Freeman. Okay, so we have this reference back to the Freeman again, and we also have the reference back to the twinism again, with Morgan being black and Kevin being white, and we have the partnership there. And sometime during the film, anyway, Morgan is going to sacrifice as well for Kevin. Okay, for Robin Hood. So Batman and Robin, yeah, Bob. Okay, and of course, there's a nice little reference with, so this Robin Hood, Robin, and Batman, of course. There's a nice reference with Trump back to Batman as well. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked, but we'll get on to Trump in just a second. Remember, he's wearing a crucifix, a cross, which is important. Okay, he's up the tree and he's got that cross on. Okay, so this idea of Christ again, and the reference with Christ with the tree. Okay, so what else have I got here? Let's go back to this. Kevin Costner's birthday. Flip to it real quick so you can just see the importance of his birthday, January the 18th. 118. Okay, the Balanced Man, 1955 of all years to be born. Okay, so, and he's, I mean, you know, he's just absolutely blooming loaded as well with films. Okay, it's just off the charts as with Kevin Costner as well. Morgan Freeman, I'm not going to Morgan Freeman, but I want to go to, I'm going to go to the guy. So anyway, let's just take a note of the release date. As I was just saying, here's Trump's birthday here, June 14th. And look at our reference with the 143, which 143 is 55 plus 88. It's a balanced number. Okay, it's those two things combined. Okay, this is important. Again, this 143 occurs with the damn fold in the dollar bill right at the bottom there, along with the 59, the double 59. Okay, this might be going over the heads of people that are new here, but this is all in my back catalogue. Yeah, anyway, Trump here is referenced with this, with Robin Hood. Okay, so where did I want to go with this? Oh, that's my next video up there. Okay, let's see, this guy right here. This is the kid, Daniel Newman. Okay, in fact, his name is Daniel Christopher Newman. Okay, so we had Freeman. Now we've got Newman, the new man. It wouldn't surprise me if this guy, because he only has to say a few words, was purely picked just simply because his name has the Christ in it and the new man. And check the birthday out, 12th of May. The 12th of May, again, is an abbreviation of 1225, Christ's birthday. Again, it's at the top of the dartboard here, okay? And that number is repeated 3 times in the dartboard, the 125, okay? Super important where it shows up next to each other, okay? Super duper important. Where was I at? His birthday. What is interesting between his birthday and Trump, actually, where have I got that? I've got it somewhere here. This one? No, that's it. Hang on a second. Hang on. Bear with me. Here's Trump's birthday. Okay, and May the 12th, 33 days. Okay, the 33 days of Christ. Okay, so very, very interesting with that number jump there. We can also go to another number jump, which is the day the tree came down. which was September the 28th. Okay, again, the September the 28th, I'll show you that in the chart in just 1 second. I want to just show you that May the 12th through to September the 28th, there's a difference of 139 days. Like that 143, this number 139 is essentially the same number, okay, in terms of the idea of balance between 55 and 88, or between the two columns. Let me show you the table. Between the two columns in this table here. Okay, this is the chart of Lorraine. New people, go watch the video here. The chart that explains the future. Again, these are all balancing numbers, and so this 55 and 88, right, that's right down here. Okay, the next number on in this 7 column, okay, is 139. Okay, the 7 column is all about balancing what's in the previous column. Okay, now there's a discrepancy because of this number line at the top of here, and the discrepancy is 4 digits. Okay, and so this 139 is actually equates to this number as well, 143, which is 55 plus 88. Okay, I know that's complicated for new people to understand. It's really for people that have been watching the channel for a little while that can follow what I've been doing previously. So these are balanced numbers. Anything in this 7 column is to do with balancing these 2 columns here. Okay, Tower 1, Tower 2, and Tower 7. Okay, right here. Okay, so these were the 3 towers that came down on 9/11. Okay. What else did I want to reference in here real quick? I just show you as well. This 139 shows up right here as well. Okay, which again is a 5/9 reference. It's in the 5th row and in the 9th column. So this is a 5/9 reference, and if you look what's right above this, it's the 118. Okay, and the 118 is just an abbreviation of this number here. Okay, this is the center of the table right here. This is balance, 11 and 18. 118 is a reference to that, and that happens to be in the 4/9, and that was, this year was both Easter Sunday and Labor Day. Labor Day, going into labor and giving birth, yeah, coming out of the matrix. Okay. Anyway, so you see those references, see how tight that is there. And that 118, as I was saying in the last video, 118 is 2 lots of 59, 5/9. Okay, so that's again the important thing, and the number jump between the September the 11th to November the 9th, which are both 9/11 days. The number of days between those 2 dates is 59 days. Okay, so you see how this is all interrelated, and this is why I'm going around in circles all the time with my stuff. Okay, what else have I got to show you here? I want to show you one other number jump. I think maybe in here. I don't know if I really want to show it. It's interesting because it connects back into the last video, which was that video of Kenny on South Park, the Kilkenny reference there, which was We Seek had found some Trump references and the idea of the assassination within there, like Kenny constantly getting killed. So I wonder if he'll get killed on that day. I don't know, or if he's going to get assassinated. It's definitely something that's been a lot of people have looked at. But I tell you what, WeSeek's got some good stuff on it. What do I want to show you? I want to show you the actual. Let me show you this. Where was it? Let me just show you something with Trump's birthday real quick. This is probably actually on WeSeek's channel, but June the 14th, the 165th day of the year, if you flip that around, if you rotate that, okay, that read backwards, rotated around 180 degrees and then read backwards, is the 19th of May. Okay, so that is an interesting connection back to the 19th of May there. And again, you could flip that to again a mirror number 2 there with the 200 would also be a 25 reference. Okay, so the Cup of Christ or 52 reference or a 22 reference. What else did I want to show you a number jump. It's not in, I don't think, I thought I had it up, but it's not up here. Don't want to do it in this one. Let me go to this one. Let me show you this. Let me see, that won't come up. No, let me do this one. Oh, it's right here. Hang on, this is the one I want. Again, that Kennedy reference with the 11/22 death date with the assassination of Kennedy. If we go 570 days, that will take us to June the 14th. Okay, so the assassination of Kennedy and then 570 days is June the 14th. We can also go backwards, which will take us to May Day. Okay, 5/1 May Day. Let me show you in the chart of Lorraine why this is significant, right? Because obviously May Day 5/1 ties into the center of the table quite nicely. Okay. Another reason, I mean, we're all over the place here with references, but let me show you this. Right here, okay, is our 10/10 reference. Okay, 10/10, 100. Okay, is 570. So this is really interesting that the idea of 10/10, which is 10 is a reference to the end of and beginning of a new cycle. Okay, it's the starting over fresh, the number 10. So again, this 570 that is connected with Trump through to Kennedy is pretty interesting. Okay, so that was one more thing to know. And then finally, let's just do the numbers for the actual tree itself, which was, it was cut down on, I wish I wouldn't have drawn through that number. I'm trying to not draw through that number 1 there, because this is important to get the 8 over there and the 29. So what we've got is, if we read these numbers backwards again, is 9/28, September the 28th, when that tree went down. Okay, it's quite an important date. You'll find quite a few bits and bobs happening on there of significance. And again, what's left is 111. 111. Okay, this is the resurrection of the 3 towers. Okay, these 3 towers here. Okay, so this 111 is super important. Obviously, again, it references back to 9/11 as well, but it also references to the last 2 dates I showed you in that St. Kenneth video, which is 10/11 and 11/10. Okay, so again, I don't know. There's a 111 there. There's the 101, and again with the 101. Let me just show you one more thing here. Let's go to, they killed Kenny, because I didn't show you this in the last video. This 225, I think that syncs with the 139 for almost for days of the year. I think that might work if you do an opposite day jump from a date. That will actually work for joining up with a 139, if you can make sense of what I'm saying there. So if you went 139 one way and then you went 225 the opposite way, that would sync up to a certain date. Okay, so you can always fudge these numbers. I think you can always fudge these numbers one day by doing that. I'm not sure. I should really do that and check that what I'm saying, but you can also fudge it by using a leap year. So some of these days could be one day off, and they'll work depending on whether there's a leap year involved or not. Anyway, they killed Kenny. There's the 18. There's the 225. The 225. Let me just show you it down here in the table, which is right here. Okay, and again, it's a 510 reference. Okay, that 51 again. I was just talking about. Okay, and what else? What else have we got? Go back to this, and let's just look down here. What else I've got in here? Obviously, Hoover Dam is 101. Gematria Kilkenny in Ireland is 101. 115. Yeah, November the 5th. So important number there as well. And obviously, killed Kenny is what they say in the show. They killed Kenny. So killed Kenny is 122, which again is that number in the top of the dollar bill. Okay, that's our big number jump from actually from 55. Let me show you this real quick. Let me show you this. It's right here somewhere, so I can change these numbers around because 139 there. Look at that. Check that out. Right. If we go from actually September the 11th here back to Newman's birthday, check it out. Okay, 122, 122 days. That same number that was in the dollar bill that gives us our Labor Day jump. Okay, because that number jump starts on 55 that's in the dollar bill, and then goes to Labor Day, which again is 49. Again, same as Easter this year, the resurrection of Christ, Easter Sunday. Here we go, 122 days again. Okay, so you see that synchronicity there with that kid's, with Daniel Newman's birthday. Okay, and the tie back to what is essentially what I would call like the birth of Christ, but into the Matrix. Okay, so the birth is the death, and it's also the birth as well. It's also the rebirth as well. I don't know how to explain it, but it's these numbers are just, they're going around in circles on one another. Okay, they are the same numbers essentially. We're just literally flipping from one side of the coin to the other. That's it for this video. I know that's all over the place, but again, this thing, I mean, it's super loaded. Okay, go check out the Prince of Thieves Robin Hood when he gets back home. Just type that into YouTube, Robin Hood returns home, and you'll see that scene and him standing up on the wall there and saying I'm home. And so it's pretty interesting coming from the metaphysical back to the physical. Okay, and you'll see watch that whole scene as well with the boy getting chased up the tree. Okay, and then they were going to cut the tree down. So again, I don't think no 16-year-old kid. I don't know who they've arrested now. The last I heard was that some old boy was being arrested for. And there was also something interesting was, I don't see it on this picture, but I heard that there was a white line painted on there, like a cut line, which is pretty interesting as well, with the idea of the crown, the corona. The crown of thorns is the corona, the crown of thorns that Christ wears. I don't know which side that white line ended up on. But again, a reference back maybe to the eclipse again as well. So again, just tons of stuff really. Okay, this tree will probably regrow. Okay, it will start shooting some new shoots next year. Okay, so this is, it's not a Yeah, yes, it's negative. Yes, it's the death of this part of the tree, but it's also the chance for the tree to renew and start afresh. Okay, it's just well, I say it's just a natural cycle. Yeah, it's like the natural cycle of shedding leaves as well. Okay. Um, anyway, I'm gonna leave it there. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that one. Yep, I'll catch you on another one here soon. I've got another one. You probably saw that tab in there. Okay, I'll catch you on another one soon. All right, cheers, bye.